All right, folks, welcome to our Wednesday night series here in the IWM Broadcast Network. We have the IWM Cup Series, and here for our 10th race of the season, we are at Talladega for the Jack Links 250. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with Noah Evans, and Noah, this is Dega. It's going to be wild.
Oh, it's Dega, baby. It's turning up, no slowing down here, and this is the biggest, the baddest racetrack that NASCAR goes to. 2.5 miles of racetrack here at Talladega. I mean, you really just can't get any better than this. This is good old-fashioned superspeedway racing. Almost 33 degrees of banking here at Talladega. I think maybe a little bit more than that. But, man, this place is just crazy. Produces really good racing and a really, really hot track today. These guys are going to be all over the place.
Yeah, we've got nearly 40 drivers tonight so far. They just keep piling in here. We'll see how it goes, but we're going to have a full field tonight. You talked about the temperature. Let's go ahead and look at the race info for tonight's event. Holy cow, it's smoking hot. 118 degrees track temp tonight on this 2.66 mile super speedway. 79 degrees air temp. Humidity, partly cloudy, 8 miles. Gonna be interesting. 94 laps. Stage break at lap 31. They've got 4 tire sets, no fast repairs, 3 green-white checker attempts if we need them. And right now our calculation says somewhere between 26 and 30 laps they can run on an all-green run in that fuel cell.
Because like we've stated before, this league starts these guys on 75% fuel, so not as much fuel as you'd like to be running at the start of this race. If they had 100, they can maybe go to about lap 50, lap 60 like they do in real life. But the 75% fuel really forces these guys to work with their strategy well. And especially when you see all these teams start working together, they're all going to be communicating inside their respective chat rooms, figuring out what they can do to hopefully get a teammate to the win.
Absolutely. So practice is underway. About just under a minute till practice is completed here. A lot of teams out there practicing their drafting, figuring out how to run, how they're going to be successful in 1 and 2 and multi-car drafting. Of course, we'll see how this goes. We expect to see 2 wide. We will see 3 wide. I hope we don't see 4 wide.
Going to be a fun one, that's for sure. Get ready for about 20 seconds left of practice before we go qualifying here at Dega.
All right, we come back. We'll cover our keys during the qualifying session, and then we'll get on with our grid. So right now we are about to go qualifying. All right, we thank you for tuning in tonight to the IWM broadcast of the IWM Cup Series event. Right now, qualifying is just beginning to get underway. Looking for drivers out there right now who are rolling out. Right now, that's John Ledger from Southern E Motorsports on track.
Ledger had a different week. A bit of a good week, I'd say, for him. Better than he usually was. Unfortunately, got caught up in a wreck later on. Had a really good car going, but let's see what this number 19 can do for 7E Motorsports. And they've been looking for that breakthrough, that decent top 5 finish they can do. They broke through with Ty Bostic in the 22 machine just a couple weeks ago. So 7E Motorsports looking for that. Just that kind of headway to get through the rest of the season. Not quite halfway through yet, but they're eyeing that chase and they're eyeing that team championship. And so far, it looks like John Ledger and Ty Bostic have been the 2 guys for them.
Absolutely. So here at Talladega, they've got 2 laps to qualify. They've got that long first lap to get up to speed, but really, with this hot of a track, I'm guessing it's going to be that first lap's going to be their fastest lap.
Yeah, I would say so too. As hot as this place is, you're just gonna go through your stuff pretty quickly, and That really isn't what you want to do. You want to be able to save your stuff as much as you possibly can. So let's see what Ledger can do here, his first lap.
All right, we're waiting for the first times to populate on our board. All right, here we go. First times are coming in. That's a 53.908. Yeah.
Aiden Kirker, David Watts. Good lap for Watts there in the 54 machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of times just beginning to fill in here. Also tonight we've got an in-season tournament event that's going to happen tonight.
Well, yeah, actually, really excited to see that.
Yeah, not only tonight, it's going to be here for a number of weeks. Basically, it's similar to what you would see for basketball, where you've got matchups. The drivers are ranked. I think it's 1 to 32, broken into a number of different brackets. And then we'll take how they finish today, head-to-head, and we'll do that at Texas and work our way all the way through till we crown an in-season champion.
Yeah, Texas is going to be interesting next week. Texas was recently rescanned, and the asphalt at Texas, it's starting to wear in, especially in the ends of 1 and 2, which were redone a couple years ago. But Texas is such a tough track to race at, and shockingly, we've seen a lot of upset winners there. It really is a track that is kind of keen for that. So really excited for Texas next weekend, but let's get through the big one first here at Dega.
All right, so with that, let's go ahead and start talking about our keys to tonight's event.
Drafting with friends, we talked about it earlier. You've got to link up with your guys and your team. Stick together as best as you can. Try not to get separated. Lane choice. These guys have been practicing that all day long, middle, high, low. You can run almost 4 wide here at Dega. They do it consistently in the Cup Series. It's going to be fun to see how these guys can do it. Survival and wreck avoidance. It's not Talladega without the big one. It pretty much is guaranteed almost every race. It could happen early. It could happen on the white flag. It could happen coming to the green. You never know when it's going to strike here at Dega.
Well, absolutely, and that's some of the biggest challenges you're going to absolutely face tonight, because now with the introduction of these stage breaks and stage points, sometimes people are going to chase after, even if it's just that 1 point differential, they're going to go after that point. All right, so that's our keys. Qualifying is just 10 seconds away from wrapping up.
Yeah, so far it is Maxwell Caldwell on pole position. Behind him, Justin Lewis, and we talked about those two last week at Kansas. They were really looking for a win there.
Absolutely. All right, so it's like qualifying has wrapped up, and as soon as we get the grid, we'll bring that to you directly here for the Jack Links 250 at Talladega in the IWM Cup Series. Oh, looks like we got ourselves a grid happening here. We need a different picture than that for sure. We were staring at the bumper of a pace car, I think, for a second. All right, we got ourselves a grid. Let's go ahead and get that grid in.
All right, on pole position, starting in P1 of the number 94, it's Maxwell Caldwell. To his outside, it's Justin Lewis in the number 7. Row number 2 is Matthew David Wood, last week's winner, and Cody Sturgill. Row number 3 is Austin Call and J.R. Houston in the number 20 machine, looking to bounce back. Row number 6 is Bud Shearer and Kyle Smalley in the 51. Row number 7 is Jared Wishon and Justin Horton.
Okay, row 6 gets us Nathan Yarnell and Ty Bostic. Row 7 is Michael Anthony and Andrew Pileshi. Row 8 gets us Roberto Ramirez and Walker Thomas. Row 9, Ty Leclerc and Aiden Lucas. And in row 10, you have got Pete Tart and Brian Jones.
Row 11, you're going to have Aaron Jackson and Alex Lene. Row number 12 is Todd Merkel and Garrett Johnson in the 15 machine. Row 13 is John Ledger and Christopher Howell. Row 14 is Casey Herschel and David Watts. And row 15 is Pete Woodrum and Marco Berube.
All right, starting in row 16, you got Sammy Harrell. To the inside, to the outside, Aiden Kirker. Row 17, you've got Christoph Hall and Maurice Burnett. Row 18, you've got Chuck Van Scoik and Zach Lindgren. Row 19 is Calvin Johnson and Ryan Pittman. And in row 20, you've got Jeremy Brown. And that wraps up our field for tonight's event.
Going to be a fun one. A lot of competitive cars in here.
All right. Okay, field is making their way up. They're forming up here at Talladega. Again, our stage break is at lap 31.
These guys' heart rates are starting to get up.
Yeah, these guys are getting excited. This is Talladega. You watched on Sunday, you saw 2 wide, you saw 3 wide, you saw 4 wide at Talladega. Not quite sure our guys have that same skill, but they sure think they do.
Hey, you never know until they try it, right? Gonna find out.
Yep, because that always works.
Well, of course, nothing ever goes wrong.
Nope.
Especially here at Talladega. As
we talked about earlier, we'll bring you the information on the in-season tournament. There's a quick glimpse at it as drivers make their way into turn 3. You can see it's head-to-head here at Talladega. Then we move on to Texas, Watkins Glen, Charlotte, and then it all culminates in Nashville.
And the only driver to move on so far is Roberto Ramirez. Jordan Weaver could not make the race tonight.
He gets a pass.
To Roberto Ramirez being the first driver to move on. Yep. Easy night for him for the in-season tournament. All right. Coming to green, this is Talladega. 2.6 miles of fast cars in freedom through the United Rentals restart zone. And the green flag is out here in Talladega, Alabama.
Big pushing going on already here as we're just getting underway. As these cars are winding up from their pace speed of 70 miles an hour up to nearly 200 in the draft.
Already flat-footed here, Cody Sturgill leading that inside line. It's Justin Lewis on the outside. Somebody back there trying to make it 3 wide. They can get some cars with them. They might be able to do it.
Nose to tail pushing. The current model here with this next gen car has really changed the bump draft and the pushing philosophy here. It used to be you could only push in the back stretch and on a little bit of the front stretch, and really you would just push the car in front of you. And the phrase of don't push the pusher was pretty much rampant through iRacing. But with this next gen car, we have seen cars 3 and 4 deep pushing together like a freight train.
Maxwell Caldwell just got shoved from that outside line. He'll drop back to that 3rd lane. And Matthew David Wood trying to continue a great season so far for that 21 team. He's picked up 4 wins in the season. First driver to get it so far. You can see that outside line struggling to get cars with them. Now leading that is Austin Call in the 11 machine. And they're losing ground on that inside.
Matthew David Wood's got a little bit of help here. He's got Bud Shearer behind. That's a pusher within his team. That's always a good thing to have your buddy in your rearview mirror.
Now Austin Call gets shoved up high.
That puts the 7 of Justin Lewis in that. Frankly, it's the outside line, but hey, if someone gets up there and helps the 11, he could have some help, but no, he dips down and finds his way to the outside line. We stay 2 wide here at Talladega. Just as I say that, looking back through the field, there's a couple of cars out there trying to get that third lane going. It looks like Kyle Smalley on the outside there.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, you can hear them too. They're going very easy on the throttle so far. Not really wanting to do anything too crazy here, burn up all that fuel. Justin Lewis now shoved to the outside. I was trying to find a hole here with Austin Call.
Calvin Allison's back there in 33rd, but he just posted the fastest lap of the race with a 49.77. We expect that will change too as these guys make their way around. He saw some 48s in practice. Up in front, J.R. Houston finds himself up there door to door with the 64 of Cody Sturgill, who now leads this race.
Yeah, been a good run for Sturgill so far this season. Looking for a good run in that number 64. It's definitely much needed for that team. And he is leading up in front. But behind him, he's been in second the last couple of laps. That's Bud Shearer in the 93 machine. And he looks to be so far the most consistent car. Hasn't really gotten out of that second place position. A couple good cars behind him as well. You have Jared Wishon there on that outside line. In the 20, it's J.R. Houston, looking to make a good run at it today. Had a really rough week last week. Was involved in more than a couple incidents. And he's looking to rebound here at Dega. Good to see J.R. Houston up in front. And this is the thing about Talladega. A lot of guys you usually won't see maybe contending, maybe dominating races. You'll see them up front at Talladega. This racetrack just has a reputation for letting the little guys come up front, and when we see it with the Beard Motorsports team all the time as well, when they run the 62 car, they can get up front and lead. They have good super speedway programs, and so do these guys. They are just masters at flat-footing it and leaving it all out there on the racetrack.
All right, 6 laps of our 94 have been complete here. J.R. Houston out in front. We've had a number of leaders already for tonight's event. Kyle Smalley already up 5 spots, finds himself now up in 3rd.
Little wiggle there out of the 17.
One of the challenges these guys face is that the bumpers don't exactly line up, so you've got to be really careful about pushing, especially as you get into these corners, how you're lined up, how centered you are to the bumper of the guy in front of you, and then you've got to keep your eye on your rear view mirror.
Yeah, and usually you want to leave anything behind you or beside you to your spotter. You just want to keep your eyes focused on what's ahead of you. They teach it in driving school, right? Keep your eyes about 1,000 feet in front of you. You never know what's going to happen, and that's especially if you're in the middle of this pack, which looking back at from pretty much 6th on back, it's starting to become a hornet's nest. That outside line's gotten some momentum, and we're starting to see a little bit of that 3-wide action starting to unfold here at Dega.
Yep, looking at that, that's the JBL car right there. They ducked back down. That's the 25. They were going to hang out there and say that's Roberto Ramirez. He's going to stay out there, but decided, nope, I'll just get back in line.
Biggest mover so far, Brian Jones in the number 4 machine. You can see him in that bright orange race car. He's the number 4, up from 20th, as well as Aiden Kirker, who's in the 39 machine, started 32nd. He's up to 9th.
And just so you're aware, folks, as we call out these positions and locations, it's going to change faster than we can actually get the words out of our mouth. Now we're 3 wide, contending for the lead. You saw the 64 of Cody Sturgill. He was out in front, worked his way all the way out to the outside, and now is falling back a bit on that third line. Seeing a number of different strategies already here tonight. A lot of the GOAT racing drivers, they're already falling back. You see Sammy Harrell, Matthew Wood, Aiden Lucas, Aaron Jackson, Maurice Burnett, Christoph Hall, Chuck Van Scoik. All these guys have gone to the back of the track. They're a force to be reckoned with as a group, but they're being smart, I think. They're staying out of trouble. They're getting back there. They're staying up with the lead pack, but they're biding their time.
You have to. You got to be patient here at Dega. It is not a track that rewards hastiness, and we see that with Bud Shearer there. You can't get too greedy too early on. You got to be patient. We saw it with Carson Hostevar. He was pretty much mid-pack the entire race last weekend. Where did he end up? In victory lane.
All right, solid run. That's J.R. Houston putting the nose out there all by himself, out in front running his line.
A little too far out.
Yeah, he's going to end up getting run over as that train will catch up to him. Jumping back, let's take a look quickly at Kyle Small here and jump on board. I'm thinking something's going on.
On the 51?
Yep. Just wondering if he's trying to save a little fuel because it's going to be super close with 31 laps as the stage break. That is just about outside the fuel window.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like he's saving, but he is holding up a lot of cars by doing that.
We are solidly 3 wide here at Talladega. 3 full lines, but you're right. I think there's a little bit of fuel strategy happening right now. You see J.R. Houston and Bud Shearer. They're out in front all by themselves, running tandem there. But here's the rest of the field kind of chilling back.
Yeah, it just from the way everybody's looking right now, it for some reason everybody's driving like they're just in a panic, like they have to go now. You got a long way to go. I mean, seriously, look at how many laps we have on the board right now. And we only have 12 laps. It's a 94-lap race. You can relax a little bit. Take your time. You're going to gain those positions back anyway through drafting. Just stay calm, be cool, and just ride it out.
Ty Bostic now finds himself up to third in that Southern E Motorsports 22. He's got a little bit of help behind him with the 37 of Justin Horton. As they have absolutely caught up to Houston and Shearer. That's Herschel, as well as the 37 drops down and gets under. It's kind of like a race within a race here, Noah.
Yeah, it's getting there, and take a look at that number 4 machine. Brian Jones doing a great job up in front right now. Seeing if he can lead some laps. Trying to get up there. He's been very conserved, very consistent, and doing a good job in that number 4 machine. But it's a bit of a mishmash of cars here up in front. You got Christopher Howell, Zach Lindgren, and now the 93 of Bud Shearer has found his way back up into the top 4 after getting shoved to the outside. And it's drivers like him that we were talking about. You know, he gets shoved to the outside. They make their moves back up. They're patient.
Let's look at the biggest gainers because Zach Lindgren now finds himself up in second. He is plus 34 positions.
Yep. And Justin Horton looking for the lead here.
Up in the front, you've got Zach Lindgren plus 34 positions. Casey Herschel up 23. Christopher Howell plus 23 positions. So Sammy Harrell plus 26. Aiden Kirker plus 26. That's crazy.
Yeah, Talladega rewards the big movers and it rewards the people who are patient. And you can see pretty much only 2 cars inside this top 10, or at least who started here, are still in the top 10. Jerry Houston in 6th right now, started in 6th. And Bud Shearer in 7th. He's up to 9th now in that 93 machine. So these guys really trying hard to get these positions. But a lot of the big guys, especially Maxwell Caldwell in the 94, he's fallen back to 26th.
Well, we're halfway to our stage break here at Talladega in the Jack Links 250. We thank you again for those of you who are tuning in tonight live. Certainly appreciate all of you tuning in. If you haven't already, if you could click that subscribe button to the IWM Broadcast Network, we'll keep you up to date as we bring you each week on Wednesdays and Thursdays events here. Tonight on Wednesdays, always the IWM broadcast of the IWM Cup Series, and then tomorrow night we bring you the INRS Series. We will be at Texas tomorrow. Zach Lindgren now up to the point and shown as our leader with Christopher Howell there.
Christopher Howell doing a good job in that number 63 machine. A lot of these guys running these primer black paint schemes. And Zach Lindgren doing an excellent job leading this race. You can see the 20 of Houston's weaving and bobbing behind him. That 85 is not moving at all.
63 of Christopher Howell. Christopher Howell is a former champion here in the IWM Series. He has a big winner here for many years. He is currently filling in tonight. He's there filling in the 63 for Nathan Carroll. Also, Tyler Clerk is filling in for Jordan Weaver. Ty is back in 30th position in the 45. It's an odd formation here, Noah, the way these guys are currently in that single line up front and then 3 wide behind.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have closed that inside line down by now, and it really is weird how they haven't. I'm not quite sure what the advantage is to running the middle line so far, but they're making it work. I mean, I'm not going to, bash them if it works, but interesting strategy to run the middle. You'd think you'd want to get, down to that inside line there, and that looks like what a couple of these guys are trying to do here.
Zach Lindgren continues to lead here. J.R. Houston on his bumper with Ty Bostic right there. And after that becomes a bit of a slog with about 10 or 12 cars side by side by side.
Take a look at that inside line. The number.
They're wrecking. 37 goes around.
37. Not quite the big one, but that certainly collected a couple of good cars there.
37 of J.R. Horton goes around, gets turned. See Brian Jones in the 4. Alex Linney involved.
Yeah, Lenny Merkel is involved. Brian Jones. Justin Horton was the one who initially started that wreck. David Watts involved as well. It looks like it started with a bad push from the 42. See if I can go back and see what happened here. So there's the 42. That's Lenny on the outside. There's the 37. Yeah, just got him loose. And that's what you talked about earlier, pushing in the corners.
Oh, big contact with Pete Woodrum there. Max Caldwell gets a little bit involved.
I don't know how Justin Lewis didn't hit that car.
Right? All right, so the yellow flag has come out here at lap 20, just past the halfway point of our first stage break. I expect that we will see everybody on pit road here.
Yeah, I think everybody's just gonna get a splash of fuel, go up on there.
Yeah, they've got tires, but tires, as we've talked about before here at Talladega, and for that matter, even Daytona, don't really matter as much. There's some reason it just doesn't. It's not the factor.
Yep.
Of course, we do have an exceptionally hot track today. Let's quickly see if the weather has changed at all. Track temp 108, slightly down from before, but that's still smoking hot. Well, not everybody is taking this opportunity to come down pit road.
Not quite everybody. Interesting call.
About half the field is making their way down onto pit road. The 7 to 64 of Sturgill.
Couple guys staying out.
Yep, just under half the field chose to stay out. All right, so we'll be led by Zach Lindgren and Ty Bostic on this restart. Of course, that leader does have lane selection. The 85 of Zach Lindgren can decide where he is going to start. He's got his teammates out there. Jeremy Brown back in 8th, Jared Wishon in 11th, and Nathan Yarnell back in 13th.
This is good from Maxwell Caldwell as well in that 94 machine. Unfortunately for him, he was our pole sitter. He's got some front end damage on that machine. There's 1320 Enterprises. Caldwell, Paleschi, Lewis, and Merkel. Merkel was involved in that incident earlier on. Justin Lewis barely got through that one unscathed. But these guys looking to make another good run at the Drivers' Championship. They're in close contention for it.
All right, as we work our way through this caution, expect to see the lights go off on the pace car next time by the start-finish line. As we've talked about in the past, this is not your usual start-finish line. You can see that little red mark in the track map up in the upper corner. Usually you would see that start-finish line on that front stretch right about in the center of that line. But no, here at Talladega, that front stretch, that start-finish line is a little farther down. So right where they go through that apex of that front stretch, they actually travel down another third to get that start-finish line.
Yeah, and it actually throws that car up to that outside line here, so you're really having to work on that wheel as you get that turn in there.
I think race control pretty much put the 37 at the end of the longest line. That's Justin Horton. We'll come back and try to play catch-up after that incident here that brought out the first caution here. All right, so Zach Lindgren has elected to take the inside line. He's got Ty Bostic to his outside as the field find themselves on the back stretch as they're working their way around. All righty. 22 laps complete here as we're about to go back under green flag here at Talladega in the IWM Cup Series.
Not even halfway through this yet.
Nope. We'll get you up to date on the current driver points and our schedule next time we get past this restart. All right. Race is in the hands of Zach Lindgren. Back in the restart zone and back underway. Green flag flies here at Talladega. With a lane changing going on already here, as this field works its way back up to speed. Already that third lane is forming to the outside there. Number of
a lot
cars,
of shifting going on.
Yeah, a lot of cars dropping out. I think that's Tyler Clerk. Decided to just get out of that mess. As these drivers are beginning to battle for these stage points with just 9 laps to go.
Nine laps is a long time till the end of this one.
Ain't that the truth? It's like
almost a minute a lap.
Yep. Andrew Pileshi finds himself out in front. Big push by the 46 of Jeremy Brown.
Both of these guys in near desperate needs of good runs, especially for that 46 machine. He goes to the inside for the lead. A big move by Kyle Smalley. But Horton, a rough week last week. 3 cautions he was involved in. Had a lot of damage on that car. But he is looking to lead this race for his first lap lead of the season, and he will get it.
Just want to bring up a bit of information we got from Kyle Smalley that currently they're running some special paint schemes tonight. Marcus, one of their teammates, has really had some PC issues and has not been able to join them much this season. So they're actually running some of his personal paint schemes as a tribute to him because this happens to be Marcus's favorite track. So that you know, you see these guys are not in their same paint scheme. They're in a Marcus paint scheme. New leader Matthew David Wood takes over the lead right now for the moment here as that third lane is solid. He's got a big push from the 7 of Justin Lewis. '21 of Matthew Wood, 7 of Justin Lewis, and the 15 of Garrett Johnson find their way down. They were on the outside line, made their way down, and now dropped into that slot in the inside lane as they're pushing solidly. They've got Jared Wishing behind, but Justin Lewis is not done. He slips up to the middle lane, and he's out there leading that to try and get back up to the front.
Yeah, just a hornet's nest of cars here. Almost 3 wide so far. About up to about 5 cars deep, and you can see more cars opting for that outside line. That middle line is going to start seeing some trouble if they get any more momentum.
Looks like the 87 of Pete Woodrum, after that last incident that brought out that caution flag, has retired. Now the 14 of Michael Anthony, with balls out racing, takes over the lead. Again, another good push by Jeremy Brown. Jeremy Brown has found himself up there pushing a lot of these guys to that front. He's definitely helped out a number of drivers get to the point. I think our list of leaders here, Noah, is out of control. Let's go look at our lap leaders.
It's all over the place, yeah. And no one's led more than 9 today. And that shows you how many different leaders we're going to have.
We've had 11 leaders so far with just 28 laps completed.
Oh, big crash here at Talladega. Caution flag is out. Wow, car up and over. Wow.
Maxwell Caldwell involved. Number of drivers. Maxwell Caldwell is just trashed.
That was a 39 that went on his side there. Aiden Kirker. Wow. And that was a very, very fast wreck.
All right, let's see if we can figure out just what happened here. What's that 94, that red car right there? He's got just chugging along on that outside line. They're 4 wide right in front. That's where it starts, right there.
Oh.
It's really, unfortunately, it's not really has anything to do with Maxwell Caldwell. Trying to get up a little bit closer here.
Yeah, let's see if we can. Yeah, I think the 39 was just an innocent bystander in that.
Yeah, because he's got what's happening in front of him. I think that's the 88.
I think that's just the 8 machine of Burnett.
Maurice Burnett. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
He comes off the nose of the 91, then he's in the door of the 1. There's contact, and then that's when things just get a little squirrely. Chuck Van Scoyt gets involved. A lot of damage here.
Yeah, and that wreck unfolded really fast too. And it was over really fast as well.
All right, 30 laps complete. That's probably going to take us to our stage. We'll have to work it out with race control as to how those stage points will be awarded. And just like that, I think I've got the stage information. There was a penalty assessed to the 45 for a drive-through penalty for changing lanes on that last restart. But points-wise, here we go. Matthew David Wood will take the top part in the top ranking in the stage, followed by Michael Anthony, Justin Lewis, Garrett Johnson, Jeremy Brown, Kyle Smalley, Jared Wishin, J.R. Houston, Todd Merkel, and Sammy Harrell will all receive stage points for that stage. All right. All right, 31 laps complete here, and now the real race begins.
Yeah, it's going to start coming down to it now. You're not quite to halfway yet. 31 and 94, so about 60-something laps to go, 63 to go. You still got a long way to go. I mean, that's basically 2 more stages essentially for these guys, and that last wreck took out a lot of competitors.
Yep, number of drivers are still in the pits trying to get repairs made. Over 10 cars currently in the pits as they're just beginning to work their way out. There is that advantage with a super speedway like this under caution. You've got a lot more time to get repairs made, fix as much as you can, whereas a shorter track, you don't quite have that flexibility. But we'll begin to see a number of cars making their way out of the pits. Right now I see Aiden Lucas still in getting work done, Maxwell Caldwell. The only car with, nope, even he is gone. We had Aiden Lucas had a meatball flag, but that's cleared as well. So pretty much number of drivers dropping back into the pits. We see this often. They'll come back in just for a splash of fuel and then head right back out. That's Michael Anthony doing that right there, as well as Kyle Smalley.
Interesting car there for the 14, half and half paint scheme there.
That's very interesting.
I think there was a half and half paint scheme at one point in NASCAR. I think it was a weird sponsorship duo. It was like Black Flag, pesticide stuff, and it was French's Mustard on the other side, and it was a weird combo. I think it was for Richard Petty Motorsports too, and
wow,
I have the diecast for it. It was a really weird looking race car, but that one, that's actually executed well, unlike the other one. But that 14 machine, I mean, hey, we're halfway to Halloween. It makes sense, black and orange.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been a while since we've seen that 08 machine. Ryan Pittman back up into the mix as well. Lee Pulliam throwback.
Lights are off on our pace car. We'll be getting back underway next time by. Matthew Wood is in control of this restart as the pace car drops off. A little bit of I would say they're a little bit not really tight there at all. In fact, the back they're still dipping in and out.
No, I mean, I guess we're going green flag back out in the air. Matthew David Wood with Sammy Harrell in the 43 machine. Harrell's looking to rebound. It's been a rough couple of weeks. They may call this restart back here.
I don't know. That was definitely really this half the field was not even put together.
Yeah. That outside line's just completely dead.
Well, if you're Matthew David Wood, you're not unhappy right now. Sammy Harrell's right there as part of your teammate, Goat Racing Customs, up in front, running 1 and 2, with Christoph Hall back there in 5. Of course, Aiden Lucas got some damage, but Goat Racing diecast doing pretty well here.
Yeah, Todd Merkel had some damage too for 1320 Enterprises, and he's got a teammate in front of him and Justin Lewis. And they're finding their way up there. It takes a lot of time to gain spots here at Dega, but they're working on it.
All right, that outside line's beginning to get cobbled back together there with the 20 of J.R. Houston. He's been solid today. Got a big push going on with Christopher Howell right behind him.
Oh, big move.
Oh.
J.R. Houston. Wow.
He finds that spot and takes it. See the 63 of Christopher Howell also dropped down into that slot. Just an update on some retirees tonight. Right now, Walker Thomas also involved in that last wreck. He is out, as is Aiden Lucas and Aiden Kirkler. Total 4 cars have retired.
SEM guys leading that outside line. Ryan Pittman, John Ledger.
Trying to make something happen. Of course, Christopher Howell jumps up there in front to maybe take an opportunity there to help out that outside line. We've seen Pittman and Howell run before, but just as we call it, it all changes.
Talladega changes about every second. Nothing ever stays the same here. What happens in Talladega stays in Talladega. Big run to the outside for Matthew David Wood. He's on that way outside line. Look at that 21.
He's going to need a little help. He's just dropped all the way back.
Yeah, they're going to say something's wrong with that 21.
Well, he's figured out his strategy. He's going to drop back a bit. We'll see how it all plays out. .43 of Sammy Harrell out in front. He's got some help right there with the 63 of Christopher Howell there, nose to tail, and they're just out there leading it. And they split apart a bit. I'm sure the field will catch back up to them. As Christopher Howell takes over the lead. See the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik make his way out of the pits. He's going to find himself a lap down if he can't make some, get up some speed.
Yeah, he's going to have to go. And that puts the 08 up into the lead there with 70 Motorsports teammate John Ledger. And this field is very spread out. Yeah, Ryan Pittman going to lead his first laps of the season for SEM in the 08 machine. And that field catches right back up to him, and he got separated from teammate there.
The outside line is... Yeah, it's got a little bit of help from the 46. John Ledger to the inside. Oh, well, that push kind of unsettled the 08. You have this new package, you've really got to have faith.
You just have to trust the guy behind you and that your car is going to stick.
Yep. Three wide, a little farther back there. Really not an organized 3 wide, just kind of cars dipping in and out. All right, Pittman solidly leading right around that middle line, but right there, the 17 of Wishin drops out from behind and drops down to the inside to take over the lead here at Talladega.
Hold on to it.
See Christopher Howell on the outside trying to make that work. He's got, a big move. That's Justin Horton, I think, back up. We saw Horton involved in that earlier incident. He's obviously doing pretty well. He's back here, running right now, currently in top 5.
Great job there. And that outside line, I don't think they want to get too separated here. Would not help them out any bit.
See the 63 drop down to the inside. Just solid racing. Let's go on board with the With who? Who should we go on board with? Let's go Marco Berube. He's up front. We haven't seen Marco in a while. Let's go running with Marco. See that there's not a lot of visibility out of these cars.
Not a whole lot of it. It kind of reminds me of the Brazilian stock cars that were added a couple years ago. Not a whole lot of view room at that front windshield there. You can see that 99 machine has been through it. Take a look on the left side there. He's been up, he's been down, all around.
But now Marco finds himself just outside the top 10. And 3 wide with the 43 of Sammy Harrell to his inside. Needs to drop down into that slot, but Brian Jones closes that gap up, and there's no opportunity. The 99 is going to slide on back further. That 17 of Jared Wishon is in a bit of a matte black car sandwiched up there between Christopher Howell up front and Jeremy Brown behind. All right, 52 laps to go, 43 complete. Most of these drivers printed last on lap 30. Looking at our basic telemetry here, we expect them to be able to go to lap 60, so another 17 laps on this tank of fuel before we begin to see stops.
Yeah, that 63 is starting to pull away just a little bit. I would kind of set the pace of the field here. If I was at 63, you get too far out, someone's going to catch you. You get a bad bump draft. You're going around in front of the whole field, and that is something that 63 does not want to do when we go back racing here.
Well, I think he heard you, because right there he's kind of sucked up tight to the 46 of Jeremy Brown.
Very spread out outside line too, not really helping them out at all. That 17 finally gets the lead, but he loses his lead car in the process.
Yep, and they split apart. Now the 15 settles in behind Christopher Howell. As we begin to play musical positions here at Talladega.
This is where the fun begins.
Just a couple laps away from halfway through this race here in the IWM Cup Series. Now, talking about points here, let's get an update as to where we stand right now for the chase here. Right now, Kyle Smalley finds himself out in front, and now Chuck Van Scoik is just in the top 16, 197 points back. But it's really tight between Smalley, Wood, and Walker Thomas here, all within 67 points of the lead.
It'll come down to it. We ain't even halfway through the season yet.
The big differentiator, as I'm sure everyone can see on the screen, Kyle Smalley and those stage points. That's been a big deal for him. He's very successful at it. You know, here, even in this event, you know, he finished 6th. Well, he'll pick up some more stage points after tonight's event. But after here, Noah, we move on to the Worth event in Texas. Then we've got the road course at the Glen, Watkins Glen. Always a favorite event. And then the All-Star race, and that break somewhere about mid-May, end of May, that kind of is our break. And then from there we go to the Balls Out 300. That's at Charlotte, and that begins our summer season right there. All right, Christopher Howell leads his field. He's got a big push with Jeremy Brown on his tail. Chris is substituting for Nathan Carroll tonight, and showing why he's a former champion here in the IWM Cup Series. But we're only here at the halfway point, here at lap 47. As they cross the line, we are just beginning the second half of tonight's event. Again, we expect to see these drivers on pit road about 12 laps if we stay green. Knocking wood here in the IWM studios. Not much wood in here.
Yeah, let's try not to jinx it this early on. We're only on lap 48 here. Still got a decent ways to go.
All right, lots of movement going back, but we're nose to tail on that whole inside line for a while there, no?
Yeah, and it's gotten a little bit more spread out here from about that, let's say that fifth line in that second row there. Everybody decent distance away from each other.
Well, if you are going to set yourself up for green flag pit stops, this is kind of what you're going to need out of this field.
Yep. You want to be on that inside as early as you can.
Jeremy Brown continues to lead here. Jeremy hails from Appomattox, Virginia.
One thing about this racetrack, you have got to respect the way of Talladega before you even get your tires under this racetrack here. It's such a tough place to race. It rewards patience. It's chaotic. It's fast. It pretty much has everything that you want in a big racetrack like this. It can fit almost 5 Martinsvilles inside this place, for crying out loud. This is a big, big racetrack, and you've got to have, I mean, you got to have a big brain to race here. It's smart racing. People think, oh, just hold the gas and turn left. It's not that easy. And at a big track like this, you've got to put everything out there if you want to be able to win this race.
And you saw just as they were coming out of turn 4, there are some wild bumps that are in this track. This is part of the character here at Talladega. And at this speed, it will upset the car. You've got to be prepared and kind of counter steer them in the slightest way through those bumps.
Oh, big 37 there. Got way out of shape. Justin Horton, a lot of damage. Definitely affecting his aero a little bit.
Yeah, he's got a big push behind him, but that makes it super hard to control. He's got the 63 of Christopher Howell behind there, trying to give him a pump. You can see that right front clip has got all kinds of bodywork damage. Solid racing here as these guys work their way up. You saw in the back number of drivers trying to work their way up. Looking back in the field, I thought that was, just double check to see where we're at here. So right now, Kyle Smalley is back here. He is the last car on the lead lap. Back there running behind the 88 of Calvin Allison. Maurice Burnett now finds himself on pit road. Fortunately, Maurice has come down by himself. That's one of the things you've really got to pit in packs here at this track, because coming back out, we saw in qualifying, their qualifying times were 53 and change, 54 and change. But looking at these last times, let's bring up that tower. Let's get the last time by. Those times are 50s. So there's about 3.5 to 4 seconds per lap difference between a single car running out there and the cars running in the pack.
Yeah, these guys are blazing fast right now, and you see some, like you were saying, some decent lap times here. Justin Horton ran a 49.9 on lap 48 here, and that's being back in the draft. I think the best lap today is a 49.674, and that was run by Chuck Van Scoik on lap 40. So these cars not falling off too much. They're staying in the 50.1s relatively consistently.
All right, Jeremy Brown, Garrett Johnson, John Ledger, Christoph Hall, Pete Tart, that's your top 5. And Jeremy Brown is at plus 38. He started back in 39th. He was the last car in this race at these when we started this event. He's gone from last to first in 55 laps.
Done an amazing job in that number 46 machine. Can he hold on to it is the question.
So sometime in the next 5 or so laps, we're expecting to see these drivers make their way onto pit road. That's only an estimate. We don't actually have insight into their fuel, but as you can tell from our calculation, we think that their fuel gauge and fuel pressure is starting to be a little bit light.
Yeah, they're starting to look where that gas station's at. For sure.
And most of these drivers have an electronic crew chief that gives them information in their ear and advises when to take that to pit. And sometimes you listen, sometimes you gamble. But that being said, if we were estimating that you've got potentially, you can make it to lap 60. Even if you can make it to lap 60, a fuel stop is around 30 laps. That only gets you to 90. They're going to need one more stop after this.
Then it is a dash to the finish.
Now bringing back up our tournament bracket for tonight's event, Kyle Smalley is right now running way back in 32nd. Nathan Carroll looking through the field. I don't think Nathan Carroll made the event, so he'll move on. J.R. Houston is up there. We saw J.R. earlier. He is battling with Chuck Van Scoik. Chuck is one lap down. So you can see, it's really head-to-head where you face another driver. So down you see Calvin Allison is down there. He's head-to-head with Aiden Lucas, but Aiden Lucas had to retire from damage. So you just never know.
And what a shame, but what a race to start it at in Talladega.
Just an update on our team points after our last race. Balls Out Racing continues to lead. 1320 is right there in second. Not too far behind, Elite Motorsports and Goat Customs right there. Misfit Mafia, Goat Diecast. A bit farther back, Unite and Team HJ. All right, coming up, this is our 59th lap here. Again, we expect to see at some point, I can't tell you, I don't know which lap, we'll start hear drivers talking about time to get in and pit, but we expect it to be pretty soon.
Now we are officially halfway through. More than halfway through now.
Yep, almost 2/3. All right, so nobody took that opportunity to come by that time.
I just don't know how Larry McReynolds feels. Waiting for these guys to come down pit road. Just waiting patiently.
That's all you got. There's nobody on that outside line. Well, I say that. There was one car on that outside line. Now two. See, Chuck Van Scoik is out there. But farther back, that's at 99 of Marco Berube. He's now in line. So it looks like what we've got is a good bunch of cars. But here we go. Leaders on pit road.
Yeah, well, I was just getting ready to say I heard a lot of chatter there on the driver radio that they were coming down pit road. So this is that first group that you'll see. A lot of Chevys, Toyotas, some Fords in there. All making their way down.
There are drivers, they're taking, it's a fuel only here, fuel only stop. We'll watch Maxwell Caldwell he finally makes it down to his pit. Oh, he's taking some tires to the inside. Now you can definitely do that because, you know, by the time you get a full tank of fuel, you definitely have time to change at least one side of tires.
It's kind of like being late to work. Like, I'm late to work, might as well stop and get a coffee or something like that. You know, you just take them while you can. They're there. You got a couple sets. Why not use them?
All right, Ryan Pittman now is coming down by himself onto pit road. He must be out of fuel.
Yeah, he has to be completely out.
Yeah, our telemetry, he's got like one little red bar in that gas tank. Unfortunately, that's really going to hurt him. Oh, he just drove right through pit road.
Oh. Huh.
Not sure what happened with the 08. We'll try to check back
All right,
in and
yeah.
figure something out. But rest of these drivers have not pitted yet. They're on lap 32 of their last run. We expect to see them coming in. The balance of the field makes their way onto pit road.
Does it in groups, does it in stages.
For the next time by will be the next guy's Ty Bostic out there with Brian Jones. These guys should be in next. There are approximately 15 drivers who have not pitted yet. These guys mixed it up a little bit on between lap 30 and lap 31. So my guess is those guys who ran on lap 30, which is Cody Sturgill, Austin Call, Bud Shear, Matt Wood, those guys are going to be bone dry. Whoa, big field making their way on. Oh, we'll see. A number of drivers may have caught a, well, I don't see any penalties per se on that time. That was close for the 64.
A couple of those guys almost hit the cone there.
Pit road is full. This is the balance of the field who had yet to pit, and that's, you just saw Ryan Pittman crawling along here. All right, Ryan Pittman did not, we'll see how this all shakes out, but initially telemetry said he did not go a lap down. I don't know how, but he did not go a lap down. All right, that puts Garrett Johnson in the 15 out in front. He's got the 17 of Jared Wishon behind, and Maxwell Caldwell now finds himself in third.
For Maxwell Caldwell, that 94 machine. Been up, he's been down, been in a wreck, but he's finally got that damage repaired. Let's see if he can finish off strong here tonight.
All right, just 30 laps to go to wrap up and crown a champion here tonight in the Jack Links 250 here at Talladega. We thank you all who have tuned in to our broadcast live tonight. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button to stay on top of what all things happening with the IWM Broadcast Network. All right, I think that is Ryan Pittman, though, right there on the outside. That field is about to run him down. Of course, that will put him the first car down on. He will be eligible for that lucky dog if a caution does come out. You know who's been really successful tonight is that 20 of J.R. Houston. He has found himself up at the front all day.
Yeah, Houston's done a great job, and he is really just, I would say dominated, but he's just been there, and like what the great Richard Petty said, put yourself in a position to win. Could he be doing that? We're going to find out later on.
Not really know what's going on with Zach Lindgren, but unfortunately I think he caught a black flag. Whether that was an unsafe entry or speeding, he's going to have to serve that penalty. Also, Casey Herschel has some major damage. Looks like he's blown up.
Oh.
That 49 has blown up. I'm not sure just what happened with him or what caused that.
See if we can find what happened to him. That is interesting.
Let me find Casey Herschel here. He's in the 49 right there. I'm guessing there's a little bit of, well, he just overheated and blew up.
I wonder how he would have done that.
He may have just been, well, it's a hot track. He may have been just not getting enough air in that 49 and it just blew up. But his engine has expired.
Dang, unfortunate for that 49. Was having such a good day here.
Yeah, solid night for the 49 here. Unfortunately, retired with an expired engine. Well, Garrett Johnson's out front. Jared Wishon is in second. Right there's this field right now is kind of relegated to single file racing, which is not unexpected here at Talladega. We see this a lot as we chip away at the last 26 laps. But my guess, with 10 laps to go, it's going to get a little wild.
Yeah, it really does have a reputation for that, you know, and Dega isn't a place for the faint of heart, especially if you're Garrett Johnson in that 15 machine working overtime up in front here. Had a good shot to win it last week, just ran out of fuel, turned into a fuel mileage race at Kansas. Could it happen again?
Just received word that during that last round of pit stops, the 42 of Alex Linney unfortunately caught a black flag for speeding onto pit road. We saw all those drivers coming in. I expected someone to catch that, but the 42 did, and that has put him, unfortunately, he is now the first car a lap down, so he is sitting in the lucky dog as lucky dog candidate at this point. So that's kind of like an internal battle between himself and Ryan Pittman to see, if Pittman can get ahead and take over that position. All right. Well, solid racing here. 71 laps complete here at Talladega. Your leader, Garrett Johnson, out in front, and there's beginning to be a little bit of action happening a little farther back, starting with Matthew Wood there as they're trying to put together a run.
Yeah, outside line's starting to get that little bit of a run here, and who else but to lead it in second? Bud Shearer once again finds himself as a pusher. That number 93 machine. But we just talked about a minute ago, 23 laps to go, coming to 22 now. Coming to 23 to go. That's still basically 23 minutes these guys have to hold on for. So at any other track, we'd be saying, oh, it's coming down to the wire. It's still a long way to go for these guys.
Yep, and a lot of jockeying for position here for sure.
Big checkup for the inside line there.
To 94, Maxwell Caldwell kind of drifting back there as Roberto Ramirez cracks the top 10, along with Todd Merkel. The 37 of Justin Horton's been involved in an incident or two here tonight, but still finds himself running pretty decently here, now currently in 5th, top 5. I think he was able to take advantage of some of those longer pit stops to help get some of that damage, but I still see it on that right front.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. He is really scuffed up in that right front there. These guys are pushing.
They're trying to figure it out here. They're single file that they have not been able to make that run, but again, as we expect, we'll start seeing something brewing in the next 10 laps.
Knock on wood, obviously.
21 laps to go here at Talladega in the Jack Links 250 with the IWM Cup Series. Right now, your leader is Garrett Johnson out in front with Jared Wishon, J.R. Houston, Brian Jones, Bud Shearer, Roberto Ramirez, Justin Horton, Matthew Wood, Todd Merkel, and John Ledger. That is your top 10.
A good recovery for Todd Merkel, too. Was involved in the incident early on and has found himself back into 9th, as well as John Ledger. Good run for SEM, as he really is only one out of that team to be up in the top 10 right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whole mess of cars up here. I think most of these guys are all from different teams.
Ty Bostic with SEM is back there currently in 16th. And I think that's the Ryan Pittman's down, unfortunately. He's right on the first car down, or second car down at this point.
Yeah, he's in front of Ledger.
Yep.
Right now after that pit stop.
right, 19 laps to go. They tick away as they continue to be. We've had just a handful of cautions, not trying to jinx these guys, but it's been great racing so far. Good battles all night long.
Yeah, I mean, you've pretty much said all the things that'll get the ball rolling. Cautions, stage end. I mean, we're 19 to go here. So far, we've been clean most of the race. Let's hope it continues that way.
It's gonna be.
Garrett Johnson, a really bright-looking paint scheme there in that number 15, different from what he usually runs in the American Spirit car. Good to see a little bit of change there from that 15, but that is a really scary sight to see right behind you right there if you're that lead pack. That is a whole gaggle of race cars behind him.
Yeah, that pack of 4 out in front, Johnson, Wishin, Shearer, and Pete Tart. Got a little bit of a gap to that next, but they're catching. All right, that outside line is really making a move, but it's the GOAT Racing guys. That's Sammy Harrell with Chuck Van Scoik there. Now Chuck Van Scoik is actually a lap down, but that doesn't matter. He's up there helping his team, and he has pushed Sammy Harrell out to the lead in the 43.
Big run for that 43 of Harrell as Van Scoik goes down to the inside line there. And this is starting to get interesting. 17 to go.
That puts Van Scoik the first car down. He is the lucky dog candidate if something were to happen at this moment.
And take a look on the outside, though. Look who's coming up there. The 08 of Pittman.
Also a car that's a lap down, but he's up there pushing the 2 of Merkel.
Yeah, battle for the lucky dog there, I think.
Absolutely. If he can get that 2 out in front and get in front of the 23, he will put himself in that better position.
Quite know where Lindgren's at. He's the second car lap down. So it would be, it'd be the 23 getting it and then the 84 and the 08.
Well, he just moved in front of Zach Lindgren. Zach Lindgren is in that white car just to the inside line, so he's really battling right now with that 23 for Lucky Dog, and right now has that position if a caution were to fly.
Yep. And Todd Merkel, what a run for that Neon Highlighter 2 machine, has found his way up to first and is looking to lead his first couple laps of the season. Look at this list of drivers who've led laps today. Unbelievable.
Zach Lindgren had the longest run, I think, with 31 laps, but other than that...
Out of that list.
I'm sorry.
Todd Merkel. Yep.
Garrett Johnson
14.
had the most laps, 14, yep.
Yeah, and that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things.
So Sammy Harrell holds out front. He's got the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik behind him. That takes over that lucky dog position if a caution were to fly. Chuck would get his lap back. That's the race within the race between the 23, the 08 of Pittman, and the 85 of Zach Lindgren. But right now, so far, with just 15 laps to go, the battle is a brewing. Taking a quick look at the points here, at least the top 16. Right now, Sammy Harrell has not cracked that top 16 in points. A win here would be significant for that 43 driver.
And it's been a rough couple of weeks for Sammy Harrell. Has not had the finishes he wanted. Kansas and Bristol were not the kindest of that 43 machine, but he is leaving it all out there today with a huge opportunity to grab his first win of the season here.
Quickly looking at the driver's standings overall, Really, you're completely correct. Sammy Harrell is down in the 33rd position points-wise, so a win here would be absolutely huge for that driver. But it's a little early to be crowning a winner right now with 13 laps to go.
Still a long way to go.
Big push by the 23 of Chuck Van Scoik on his teammate, Sammy Harrell.
We have just about 31 miles to go when we come back around here. A long, long way for these guys.
To the 17 of Wishing on the outside. He is pushing the 85. That is Zach Lindgren up to the front. Lindgren is a lap down. Right now, all of our telemetry is a little bit wild because you've got lap down cars moved out to the front or up in front.
Yeah, it's not the relative one.
No, in effect, the 85 of Zach Lindgren has unlapped himself by being out in front with the 17. Oh, a little bit of the 43 got a little bit wiggly there with that push from the 23. Right now, your leader is that pink car of Jared Wishing. He has got that 85 out in front, but that is a lap down car. Zach Lindgren's actually in 29th position. Let's not fail to mention Christopher Howell right there sitting in third. With J.R. Houston, they we've called all day long, up there as well. Big push.
And you may be thinking, I mean, hey, if we didn't have that ticker, we wouldn't know the 85 car is not leading.
Yeah, we're. You would think, but we've seen that 85 up front all day today. But you're right. Oh, caution comes out. Caution flies. That is going to be good for the 85. He will get he's got his lap back. We'll see how this all shakes out for Ryan Pittman. I think Ryan Pittman will wind up getting his lap back as part of the lucky dog. Not really clear as to what officially happened here. But I think for some reason the 43 was also involved. We'll have to take a stab at what happened here. Let's go to Bud Shearer's car. Kind of looking around. We think it's somewhere in this area here. Oh no, there it is, right in front.
Oh yeah. Unfortunate for Harrell. Had such a good day going for that 43.
It's got to push. Chuck's been pushing him all day, but just got a little bit off center. Caught that right rear, and that just sent the 43 around, unfortunately. Looks like most drivers got through pretty good. Looks like Maxwell Caldwell, unfortunately, goes around as well.
A good job locking the brakes down by Harold. You don't really see a lot of guys have that kind of skill to just lock it down and stop.
All right, that means that's our third caution of the night. We've got 87 laps complete, so just 6 or so laps left, not including laps that we will get under caution here. Somehow Ryan Pittman picked up a black flag, as well as Garrett Johnston as well. Got a black flag. Trying to figure out just what happened to Mr. Pittman. A shame for the 15. He's been out in front a good part of today and holds some laps. But that puts Roberto Ramirez out in front with Michael Anthony and Brian Jones. And Kyle Smalley, 2 balls out drivers up here on the front row. Well, at least in the second row. We'll see how this all shakes out.
Yeah, hearing it was a pace car violation for the 08.
Oh. That's unfortunate. Also see another black flag. No, those are the 2 black flags we currently show.
Like everybody coming back down. We'll see.
Well, the guys who stayed out, that's Roberto Ramirez, Michael Anthony, Brian Jones, Kyle Smalley, all have not pitted since lap 63. The entire rest of the field pitted here at lap 86. So they're going to be, I think, right there on that. Well, with this caution, may not be a big deal. But the lights are off on the pace car. I think these guys who elected not to go in, Ramirez, Anthony, Jones, and Smalley, they're making a calculated move here that may pay off.
Ramirez up in front, a good shot to win. Michael Anthony, we talked about him. Brian Jones, he's been a very good contender these last couple of races here in the number 4 machine. Going to be fun to see what he can do.
Going back, looking at our current point standings. Obviously, Kyle Smalley is leading it. He's currently sitting up there in 3rd. Looking at Roberto Ramirez, he's not currently in the top 16. Michael Anthony is. He's currently sitting in 9th. He could use those points. And Brian Jones, he's not in there. So those drivers are all looking for good success here at Talladega.
Especially Kyle Smalley. He wants to extend that lead to Wood as much as he can.
Matthew Wood currently is sitting back in 16th, but we've seen this before. He finds a way to all of a sudden put himself in contention on those last lap or so.
It will be 6 to go when we come back to the line. It is a dash.
Absolutely. Here we go. Green flag flies at Talladega. Roberto Ramirez leads this field. He's out in front and got a good push by the 4 of Brian Jones.
45, and look, they're ducking down there to that inside line. He may know something we don't. See if he can continue making that run. A lot of shucking and jiving going on in this field right now. Everybody trying to find their way.
Oh, front split, so 3 wide.
Wow.
Hold it together, guys, with just 5 laps to go. Roberto Ramirez is cycling back, and Jared Wishing to the outside.
It is getting feisty.
Oh, Brian Jones takes over the mid spot.
4 wide. For just a moment. Wow. Still 4 wide.
Michael Anthony out in front in the 14. He's got Pete Tart behind him. Brian Jones finds himself in third. There we are 3 wide here with just 5 laps to go at Talladega.
Big opportunity for Michael Anthony looking to win at Talladega. That half and half diecast fans car up in front. First couple laps led today. Brian Jones to the outside in the 4 looking for his first of this season. A couple drivers looking for their first careers in this series. Tart, Ramirez, all of these guys with a chance to win it. And John Ledger, who we saw steal the dual win at Daytona earlier on in the year, the Super Speedway ace, trying to pull this one off here. 3 laps to go here at Dega. Wrecking in the back. Bostic goes around.
Wreck. Caution flies again with just a handful of laps left.
And that collects Michael Anthony.
Oh, just like that.
Well, let's re-rack them.
That push. Again, that's all it takes. Just a little bit of an off-center push right there by the 67. That's Pete Tart, just got the 14 off center, and now he's trying to get up on the banking.
Yeah, these new Chevy front ends are they're a lot more curved than they were last time around with the original next gen body. So these guys still trying to figure them out here at these super speedways.
So you can see Michael Anthony down there on the apron, but here's what happened next. See the tap of Paleschi here, the 22. 22 actually, I'm sorry, the Paleschi bump is not the problem. So the 22 comes down across the nose of Austin Call in the 11 right there. He's not clear, and that sends him into the 43. 21 gets a little tap, and the 22 goes around. All right. Well, that changes everything. That puts the 67 out in front. With Ty Leclerc, who is a substitute driver here. Ty Leclerc is filling in for Jordan Weaver. And now finds himself up at the front with Pete Tart on this restart.
Fun one there. Let's see if he can pull it off here.
Well, they'll be coming across the stripe here. That'll be the start of lap 93. So we're going to extend this to a green-white checker. See, Chuck Van Scoik is getting his lap back. Good for the 23. Unfortunately, with that incident, the 11 finds himself with a meatball flag. He's got repairs being made on that car. A number of drivers on pit road. The 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. The 11 of Austin Call, Ty Bostic, Michael Anthony on pit road, and Andrew Pileshi all involved in that last incident. So now up front, two drivers here. Similar paint schemes.
Yeah, it looks like just talking about Austin Call is out of the race. Unfortunate day for the 11 there. But Pete Tart in the 67 machine, I believe he joined a couple races after the start of the season.
Yeah.
And he is looking to pull off a good win here, kind of a mix and match kind of paint scheme here between him and the 45 of Ty Leclerc. Kind of different colors in different places, but Roberto Ramirez may be out of fuel coming onto pit road here.
Yeah, he's down on the apron. He pitted last on lap 63. I think he's just saving fuel. Yeah, he's clutching it. You can hear the engine turning off as the drivers are trying to save fuel here. All right, lights are off on the pace car. Next time by will be our first attempt to get this race in as a green-white checker. Just reading through the chat here that Brian Jones is on some weeks and off others because they travel a lot. Half the time he's racing on a G27 rig in a hotel room somewhere, but tonight he happens to be in his racing rig in his home.
Good deal. He's got a front row seat to this finish here.
I think if I'm looking for a driver or a position that I would like to be in, any place in that second row is the place to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing when I was racing. I always hated starting on pole position. Granted, you get the best view and the most clean air, but you really are struggling to kind of defend around you. Inside row 2, you get the best view of the leader. You can make some good moves, and if you can just exhaust those guys in front of you, you got a good shot at the lead.
Well, as the field is making their way around there, coming out of turn 4, our pace car is about to drop off and puts this restart in the hands of Pete Tart as he takes this field into the United Rentals restart zone. Just 2 laps between himself and winning this event.
Here we go. For the United Rentals restart zone, we are to green here at Dega.
Good jump by that outside as well as these drivers continue to take this look into turn 1 clean here, side by side. Pete Tart and Tyler Clerk. Oh, with a big push by the 93 on the back of the 2. Got him a little bit out of sorts.
A lot of movement there.
Oh my gosh.
3 wide here. Golly, these guys are moving.
Chris Howell on the outside, trying to get that outside line moving. Oh, spinning, going around. John Ledger. Ledger goes around. Where's wrecking?
And we did not take the white.
We did not.
That'll be a white checkered.
got a meatball flag. A number of drivers were wrecked in that. So Justin Horton's got a meatball flag. Calvin Allison has got damage. Let's go back and see just what happened here. Unfortunately, saw John Ledger up at the front. See the 64, that's Cody Sturgill, get a big run. Taps him.
Just not a square hit there.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, that definitely wasn't a square hit there.
I'm not sure it was a hit so much it was
just getting to the inside faster than Ledger expected.
Yep, to the inside, and the 19 goes around. A lot of other cars, unfortunately, just coming up. The 21 toasted. He got sandwiched here. As we saw, see a number of other drivers just damaged equipment here. All right. Well, that's going to put Tyler Clerk in charge of this restart with Brian Jones to the outside.
So it will go to Tyler Clare and Brian Jones leading this race. See a couple names up there: Howell, Ramirez, Brown. All of these guys looking for their first win this season.
Looks like Cody Sturgill got a black flag. It may have been assessed because of the incident there that spun the 19. All right. Okay, so we are right now racking and stacking for our second green-white checker attempt at finishing out this race. Man, I thought, Noah, that we were going to wrap this up a little bit earlier, but we were green flag for pretty much a good bit of this race.
Yeah, but you forgot one important factor there. It's Talladega, and it's unpredictable, and it doesn't really like to go your way exactly, and Tyler Clare is hoping for the opposite of that. He's hoping that he can go green all the way, lead until basically the end of this race here. But we know how fast you can gain momentum on that tri-oval there. We've seen it a lot of times. You saw it with the iconic Jimmy Johnson finish. He was being pushed by Dale Jr. there. Basically from out of nowhere, he came to win that race. And it's going to be a fun one here down to the finish. You got Brian Jones, Tart, Howell, Ramirez, Brown, Merkel, all of these guys looking for their first wins of the season.
All right. Well, pace car is making its way across the start-finish line. You saw the Tyler Clerk jump up there. Get these guys pitted last on lap 86. So they're probably doing okay fuel-wise. Let's take a quick peek at our. Yeah, they're good fuel-wise. These cautions haven't hurt them at all. All right, so the 91 of Andrew Pilecki, they were kind of run through the grass. Not sure what he was doing there. Off track a bit. Matthew Wood is in the pits right now, along with Calvin Allison. He's got a black flag. He's got damage. All right. We are coming up. We're on the backstretch right now. Driver's about to enter into turn 3 and 4, and we'll get this race back underway.
And this is going to be a fun one here.
So you'll have on that front row Tyler Clerk, Brian Jones, door to door, with Christopher Howell and Pete Tart sitting in row 2.
I'm pretty sure all of these guys, I think maybe the top 5, looking for their first maybe career wins for some of these guys in the IWM Cup Series.
Yeah, all except Christopher Howell. He's a substitute driver here and a former champion, so he's been in this situation before. Absolutely. So, odds on he'll be pushing, my guess, he's right behind the 45, which I think is elected to take the outside line.
Yeah. Looks like we'll get one more time around here. For sure thought we would have gone back green.
Lights are back on. That's odd. This field is not quite together. All right, we're going to continue with one more pace lap because we haven't had enough of those today.
Yeah, and now the pace car lights are off. Finally.
All right. Try to see if there's anything more we need to cover here before we get this last little bit of this race underway. A little bit of a race recap for everybody. We have just 29 separate lead changes today for this event. And lap leaders. Look at that.
That's about half the field right there, I'd say.
39 entries in the field. My guess is nearly everyone has a chance to lead a lap. All right, looks like our field is formed up much better than last time. There are 24 cars on the lead lap.
Yep. So 24 cars with a shot to win it through the United Reynolds restart zone. Green, white, checkered. Mad dash to the finish. Here they come. And we are back to green at Talladega.
That 45 of Leclerc hoping for that big push by the 63 of Christopher Howell on his tail. Makes it around into turn 1. That's a big bump, and the 67 also is there to help out that that effort.
Big push from Jones there. Look at Ramirez. He's looking any way he can to get by that number 4 machine.
Big push there as
outside
we
line really going
into turn 3. Trying to make it all the way to the start-finish line so that white flag will wave without a caution.
Remember, after that, the next flag will end the race. Here they come. About 100 yards away from it being official. And this is it. White flag this time by.
Big
car
push.
down on the apron.
That's
the 55 of Yarnell. Stay green.
63, big push on the 45, and the 4 is getting a push by the 25 of Ramirez. As these, at this point, you're in it to push, but now it's going to be, it's up to you. If I'm the 63, I'm thinking I'm going to try and fight. There he goes. 63 takes to the inside, abandons that. He's got that 46 behind him.
Here they come to the line. Howell goes low, looks down to the inside. They're going to be side by side coming to the line. Leclerc.
They touch.
Howell, 3 wide to the line, and it is going to be Pete Tart.
Pete Tart.
In a huge upset, Pete Tart collects his first career IWM Cup Series win. What a win for the 67.
Christopher Howell takes second. We'll get these the unofficial right now, and Tyler Leclerc finishes in third. That's our podium. We'll get that to you momentarily and with interviews.
3 thousandths of a second, and it does not get much closer than that. Wow. We have got to see that finish at the line, because it was almost nothing.
They're door to door here. They're banging doors here. That's the 63 and the 67. To the 14 going around behind.
Look at Tar. Tar has no help here. At this point, there's nobody else. He's operating off of just pure momentum. I'd love to see if we can get a side shot of that coming to the line, because it is going to be... It's so close. Even I looked at it. It's so close between that top 3.
We're going to look for a different shot here, see what we can see. A little bit farther out here. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Wow. That's it right there, just by a nose.
Yeah. 3 thousandths of a second looks just like that, and it is nothing. Wow.
All right, so Pete Tart gets it. It's like he's already completed his burnout here. Let's see what we can do with interviews. Yes, we have everybody is waiting. Let's go ahead and grab Tyler Leclerc here. Ty, welcome. Ty, sorry. Welcome to the broadcast. Congratulations on your third place finish. Man, that was a close finish.
Yeah, it was. I think I would have had a little bit better shot if I had got the block on Chris, and I didn't. Now that I'm watching it on the replay, I'm glad I didn't, because I would have hooked myself. So, but there was somebody behind me on the top, so at least I had a push to the line, and Pete pulled out a line and got the side draft. So obviously he got the wins, but congrats to him. We all worked together as a team tonight, and glad I could have a good finish filling in for Jordan.
Absolutely. Yeah, a couple fill-ins today. Both you and Chris Howell both filling in for drivers, and you both found yourself at the front.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad that they obviously last week I filled in for blanking. I filled in for somebody last week. Aiden Kirker.
Yep.
And we were running good at Kansas, so Kyle Smalley actually messaged me telling me that Jordan was going to make it, and he asked if I wanted to drive it. I was like, sure. So I'm glad I did. It was a fun race, and maybe we'll get him in another race.
All right. Well, congratulations on that. Any shout-outs tonight?
I just want to say thank you to Elite Motorsports and Balls Out Racing and Diecast fans.
You got it. All right. Congratulations. That's Tyler Leclerc. Finish. Am I getting it correct? Is it Leclerc?
Yeah, it's Leclerc, but
Leclerc.
It looks. Yeah.
All right, Leclerc. We'll get that. I know he's been saying it right all night. I'm the one that's been screwing it up.
Confusing. I get it.
All right, that's Tyler Leclerc finishing in third tonight. Congratulations to Tyler.
Thank you.
Got it. And with that, we'll find Mr. Christopher Howell. We'll move him into the broadcast booth. It's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk with Chris Howell. Chris, congratulations on your second place finish.
Hey, what's up, Rick? It's been a long time.
It has. Well, you came into the event filling in for another driver. You were, I have to say, you really put that car in position all night long. You were out front, helping others with some good pushing, but you were in a position at the end there to make something happen.
And it was so close. I thought I had it, to be honest with you. I knew I had the 45 cleared, and that I don't know how this 67 was able to really generate enough run to get me on the outside, other than I know I door banged him one time, and I think I touched him again. I think that's what killed a little bit of my momentum to win it. But oh no, it was still a good night to come back into the league after not being here for a season and a half. Coming back in here and racing with these guys. Hey man, I still got it.
You sure do. Yeah, Noah posted.
I still got it.
Yeah, Noah posted a picture in Discord. You can see just how close that finish was amongst you three drivers.
3,000 of a second.
Yep.
Yeah, this is still not the closest finish for IWM, and to be honest and quite frank, I think the closest finish we've ever had in this league was in a recruitment race between me and Chris Worrell. We had a .000 finish, and he got it down to the fourth numbers. It was .0001. He won at Nashville, but this stack's right up there. I mean, to have a drag race of three cars going down to the end there and not knowing who got it other than timing telling you, that's probably pretty good show for the broadcast.
Absolutely. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out my car owner. This is kind of weird because I've never been a driver for another car owner, but Nathan Carroll, I'm filling in for him. This is his primary car that I'm driving. Unfortunately, no sponsors on the car tonight, which is okay. Not a big deal. So I want to thank him, Nathan Carroll. I want to thank Elliot for allowing me to come back in here and sub for Nathan. Hopefully I can come back and sub again somewhere else. And also want to thank any other admins that are still associated with IWM. I know there's been probably a lot of change. I'm not sure. I don't want to misspeak here, but I really can't call the other admins by name, but I know yourself, Rick, and I don't know who your broadcast partner is now. It used to be John. I don't know if you have one now, but
yeah, this is Noah. Noah Evans is here in the booth.
Okay, all right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I look forward to going back and watching it and seeing the finish. And just want to thank my family, my wife, my two kids, and just want to thank God for the opportunity to be here. And that's pretty much it.
You got it. Well, Nathan, I pulled you in. Nathan, your car owner now joins us in the booth for a minute here. Nathan, any other shout outs yourself? Silence.
Nathan, you there?
Nope. He dropped out.
He probably had an issue with his mic or something.
All right. Well, again, congratulations, Christopher, on that second place finish.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You have a good
night.
You too. And with that, we'll bring in your winner, Pete Tart. Finishes in first place here in the Talladega Jack Links 250. Pete, congratulations on winning tonight's event.
Thank you.
I think everybody is amazed at just how close this was. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, Pete, you come into the season just a little bit late here. You've already made some waves up at the front of this field here. Tell us where you got that momentum from, because you had no help coming to the line behind that 45 machine. How did you manage to pull this one off?
Well, I knew they were side drafting each other really hard, and I saw them door bang. And if they didn't door bang, I probably wouldn't have gotten the momentum. And then I just tried to side draft from the right as hard as I could.
Well, it certainly paid off. That little bit of contact was able to allow you to eke out a .003, just a nose in front, a half a nose in front of that 63 and take the win.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the closest finishes that I've ever been in, and glad we could get it done today.
You got it. Well, congratulations on your finish. Any shout-outs tonight?
I'll shout out Jared Wishin for bringing me into this league and Diecast fans and Premier Setup Shop as well.
Absolutely. All right, folks, there's your winner tonight here in Talladega. That's Pete Tart taking tonight's victory here in the Jack Links 250. Noah, any final thoughts as we wrap up tonight's broadcast?
No, I mean, this is Talladega. This is just one of the greatest. This is one of the closest finishes I think I've ever seen in my short broadcasting career. But it was such a great race today, class from everybody around here, and just can't wait for Texas next week. It's going to make the in-season tournament a lot more interesting.
Absolutely. All right, folks, from Noah and myself, we thank you for tuning in. We got one more bit of graphics. Let's make sure I don't miss this one. We had so much going on, so much talking going on. We just kind of forgot to bring this up, but here we go. Just so you see the other information, the Hard Charger Award goes to Jeremy Brown, up 35 positions. Leading the most laps, even though we had, 30 lap leaders, was Garrett Johnston. Fastest lap turned by Sammy Harrell with a 49.017. But just a great race here at Talladega. So for Noah and myself, we thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at Texas. If you are around tomorrow night, tune in to the IWM broadcast. We'll be bringing you the INRS Racing Series at Texas tomorrow night in the 5-4 Designs 201. All right, folks, have a great night. Good night, and we'll see you next week. Good night.